Can you actually make money by writing a nonfiction book? This is a question that people ask me all of the time. They say, Jake, I want to write a book, but is it really worth my time, energy, and money? Jake, I really want to write a book, but how can I make sure that I get money back? Jake, I want to write this book, but is there going to be a return on my investment? And after working with 250 plus authors and helping thousands and thousands of aspiring authors worldwide, along with writing 4 best-selling books myself, I've boiled this down to the simple math of a book. And I'm going to walk you through the 3 different types of ROI that you will have by writing a book, because it's not just how much money you make. It's about the impact. It's about what it does for your brand. And we're going to break down all of this. So the first type of ROI here that I want to break down for you is what we call the personal ROI. Now, the personal ROI is often the return you get by advancing yourself. It's the ROI that comes from the feedback, the legacy, the impact, the growth. And so here are a few different types of personal ROIs that you can have when you write a book. Number 1 is you could achieve a lifelong accomplishment. For some people that we work with, they've wanted to write a book for 50 years. And it's been a cause of stress for the last 5 decades. They finally write a book and they did it. And that stress, relief, just that alone is worth more than whatever it is that we ask them to invest to write it. You get to create a legacy and a lasting impact. I mean, how much is making an impact actually worth to you? A lot of people tell me, Jake, if I could inspire one person and it would change their entire life and create a ripple effect, that's worth it to me. If I can step into my next level self, if I can raise my confidence, if I can become the person I know I'm meant to be, I can be free. I can actually start doing the things I know I'm capable of doing. Finding more confidence is one of the greatest benefits of writing a book that doesn't have a dollar sign attached to it. It has a feeling attached to it. It has a amazing, amazing accomplishment. And one of our authors, I'll never forget this. They said, Jake, I knew I'd become a speaker. I knew I'd make money from this. But the thing that I didn't expect to change more than anything was how I felt about myself. And so writing a book becomes this thing where you step into your next level. You step into your highest self. And then we don't talk about the last few things about personal ROI is this is where you get that internal growth and clarity. You get to really identify who you are, what you're all about. You get to step into that next role, and your messaging becomes clearer than it ever has. Why? Because when you write a book, you're forced to combine your experience with your expertise. And so your experience, it allows you to relive these. For some people, that's a very emotional journey, but it allows you to relive core moments to help you articulate what the true lessons really are. And then you get to share your expertise. This is where you can build out a framework, update a methodology, and really dial in on the process that you're likely already selling. So this is the personal ROI, the purpose. What would it be worth to you to make an impact, to achieve a lifelong dream, to be more confident, and to have more clarity on the work that you do? Okay, so that's the purpose. That's the personal ROI. Now, let me go ahead here and make this a little bit bigger so that we can then talk about the ROI number 2. This is what we call your brand ROI, aka your platform. Many people who want to write a book want to make an impact, they want to be rich, or they want to become famous and more well-known. And so when you write a book, you immediately get a return on your investment in the form of your brand. First thing that happens is you become a bestseller. That authority and that status is worth a ton. Why? Because you can leverage it to raise your rates. You can leverage it to get in the room. You can leverage it to expand your network. All of these things allow you to be seen differently, perceived differently, and open up the door for some more opportunity. All right, the second thing is the instant credibility boost. When 2 people are being evaluated for services, and both of them are amazing, but one has a book and one doesn't, the person with the book gets the advantage. They get the opportunity. They get the higher rate, okay? If there are 2 people who can help you write a book, and one person wrote a book on how to write a book, and the other person just has told you they've helped a few authors, who are you going to give as the first opportunity, right? And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to create a brand that allows our buyers to become pre-qualified. Next is you get years of content created by writing a book. This is huge for your brand. Not only will it save you money in the form of not having to pay for a ton of social media creators and agencies, but It will help your content be more clear, be more specific, because your book is your best material on that topic. So therefore, you can use your book to then create a lot of pieces of content. And that, depending on how often you post, could supply you for months or even years. The next part of this is when you write a book, you now are media worthy. What you've done has turned enough heads, and so you can get more podcasts, you can get more press releases, you can get more articles. And what you're doing is you're shifting the narrative of how people see you and how you see yourself, tying this back into the personal ROI. So this is how you really build your platform and really grow to that next level. And to kind of sum this all up, this is where you have your expert positioning. Now, your expert positioning is really the ultimate thing about writing a book. I was just at a mastermind event and I was talking to a handful of people, and everyone in the room who had done the biggest things and had gotten on the biggest stages, they all had multiple books. Okay. There was one guy who's given 4,000 plus keynotes and he had multiple books, and he uses his book to get in the door, or he uses his book to elevate his brand. There was another person that I had met at this event, and he has worked with the biggest names in the world, and he has written a handful of books. Why? Because it has given his brand a next level. It has given him a chance to position himself as an authority. Okay? And that is why brand ROI and platform is so critical to your growth, and why and how writing a book can produce a real ROI. Now, let's talk about the third type of ROI from writing a book, and that is the financial ROI. And this is the ROI that a lot of people really look at, right? You can either be impact ROI focused, you could be fame ready ROI focused, or you could be money related ROI. When you write a book, the possibilities to monetize increase significantly. Okay, first of all, if you write a book, you can now start to generate speaking engagements. When you get speaking engagements, you can charge more for your fee. You can charge your normal fee, but then add 15 to 20% on that because you sell copies to the event host, or you sell copies to the room at the end of the event. You can get more speaking engagements and actually do guest coaching. You can get podcasting gigs. You can go to various different events. You can speak for free and sell something on the back of it. You can create your own live event as a speaker. So there's so many ways to increase your opportunity for monetization. Getting speaking gigs, raising your rates for speaking gigs, adding a book to sell at the speaking gigs that you're already doing, creating your own events on the back end of your book, and then selling into a higher ticket thing. Speaking for free and then selling. These are all layers and levels to monetization through speaking. And you have that disposal by writing one book. Next is coaching and consulting. So if you write a book and you charge $10,000, a lot of people we work with charge $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 plus for what their average client is worth. So if you get one client, what's that worth to you? If you are able to raise your rates by 10%, what's that worth to you? We had someone who they charged about $4,000 and they increased their monthly rate to $7,500 a month. They added $3,500 a month to their revenue without changing what they did. The only thing that changed was that they had a best-selling book. The third thing in the financial ROI is lead generation. So many people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on months and it goes to waste. They don't get good qualified leads and they don't have the actual conversion on the back end. Well, when you write a book, you can get leads for $3. How? Your book costs you about $3, depending on the size of it. And if you give it away in exchange for an email, that's a $3 lead. Then that person spends a few hours reading your book if they're interested. Then they're going to feel as if they already know you. That lead is worth exponentially more than the random person on Facebook. And you probably spent $15, $20 trying to get that lead, depending on your system and everything like that. I'm not saying ads are terrible, but what I'm saying is that a book can get you high quality leads that are pre-qualified buyers for cheap that can also be converted if they like your material. Next is you can do masterminds or retreats. You can do live events or programs. You can do digital coaching. You can do digital products, courses, templates, etc., all based on the book. So you do the book once and now you have an entire offer stack built on the back end of this book. So that's the three types of ROI that you can get. You can get your personal ROI, which is the purpose. You can get your brand ROI, which is your platform. And you can generate your money ROI, which is your profit, passion, purpose, platform, profit. That is the name of this game. One book and turn this into a lot of opportunities. So if this is really interesting to you, if you're excited about this, if you want to find ways to make this worth it for you, then I want to give you a free copy of my book, Big Idea to Bestseller. All right. If you go ahead and you just comment down below book, or you can go to bigidea2bestseller.com/free-book. We'll send you a copy of my book, either digital or paperback, whichever one you want. And then if you know you want to do this and you want to actually map out how much money, how much time, how much energy, how many lives can be impacted at each one of these ROIs, so you could see what the investment actually returns for you, then go to bigidea2bestseller.com/call. You'll hop on a call with me and our team. We'll do an entire demo walking you through your idea, how to make it into a monetary return. And then we'll even show you a calculator on the different ROI types so that you can easily see how this will be worth it to you. And then you can decide if a book makes sense. So that's what we got going on for you. That's the 3 types of ROI from writing a best-selling nonfiction book. I hope you enjoyed it.